Hey Wargamers, this is Napoleon's Marshal. Today I decided to do a battle report of By Fire and Sword, which is done a historical game by Wargamer, it's the company. They're actually based in Poland, although there is an American website where you can get your stuff, which is wargamerllc.com, I think. Yeah, so I don't know about you, but if you're listening to this and you experienced life during the 2020 coronavirus, then you probably did a little bit of solo wargaming. So that's what I decided to do because I miss playing this game. I've only been able to play it a few times, and I painted some stuff, and I was like, you know what? I just really want to put these guys on the table, and I couldn't wait until this whole thing's over with. So there you go. So what I did is I took my Polish skirmish force, or my Polish force, which I have enough for a task force almost. So I just split that into two. Basically, I have a skirmish force and a Polish cavalry regiment box, and a few little extra units. And so all that together, I can make two skirmish forces. So it's going to be Polish on Polish, which is a little bit boring, I guess, but it's what I have. So I'm getting to the point where I might start thinking about getting units for other armies, other nations. But anyway, so the story is this is going to be a Polish cavalry force that is serving King Charles of Sweden. They're the traitorous legions, and yeah, so they're an 8-point force. They have 19 recon, which I got switched around, and I actually gave the recon to the other guys. But oh well, it's been a while since I played this, so back off. So they have a colonel that has 3 command points. Relation style cavalry, which is the light cavalry, skirmish cavalry. There's Cossack style cavalry with spears. And then 3 units of regular, just Cossack-style cavalry with sabers and bows and carbines. So there you go. By the way, this arm creator is really great. One of the things that really confused me when I first got into this when it came out, just took me a while to paint everything. And yeah, that original rule book, which I love now. It's really great. The huge one that you could totally like bash somebody's skull in with. It's got all the army lists, but it was really confusing to look at it. It's very overwhelming, and this really simplifies it a lot. So if you get stressed out by looking at the forces on paper, then this is really great because you just click on stuff and it tells you if you have a legal list or not. So anyway, so this is the traitor force for the Poles, and here they are on the table. Here's their commander. Here's the Relation light cavalry, and then all these are Cossacks style cavalry, and then here's the ones with spears. Obviously, they got the spears. Then you have the Loyalist forces. They are also 8 force points. They have 16 recon. That's another thing I love about this website is it calculates up your reconnaissance and stuff. It's really awesome, and the all the morale stuff, and it's really great. So they have a colonel as well with 3 command points. They have Pancerni, I think that's how you say it. Pancerni, yeah. Those are the guys that have they're completely clad in chainmail, so they're a little bit heavier. Where am I? Oh, there it is. So there's 2 bases there: Cossack style cavalry, Cossack, and then another Pancerni banner with spears. So no winged hussars because you can't take those at skirmish level. That would be insane. Although there is one skirmish force that does have them, but all right. So these are all the Cossack style cavalry, and then the small unit of Pancerni, and then the Pancerni with spears, and of course their commander. So with the forces being equal. It was just a straight roll to see what the scenario is, and I rolled a 2, which is patrol, and so you'll have to excuse my scenery. It's very basic, but and a lot of it's meant for World War II. So I had a couple little buildings that looked appropriate for 17th century. So you have a little farm here. Basically, what you're supposed to do is scout these areas, and you get victory points. Spoiler alert: it's not really going to matter. But anyway, so you got a farm here, a hill here, and then an orchard or a grove here. Each one has a little token on it that it's from a Song of Ice and Fire. If you play that. All right, so deployments. I just went back and forth. It's a little weird playing against yourself, but I kind of deployed how I would deploy, and maybe it's not very intelligent or whatever. But anyway, so for the let's go with the loyalists first. They have their panzerni here. They have Cossack-style cavalry, panzerni with spears, and then I squadroned those 3 small units together into one big unit, which you can do up to 6 bases of cavalry can be squadroned together. For the traitors in Swedish service, you got the Cossack-style cavalry, Cossack with spears, big Cossack-style cavalry. Those are 2 banners put together, and then the Wallachians over here. All right, so at the end of turn 1, everybody just kind of moved up. These yellow dots are the command points. That's how I keep track of the command points. It's easier for me if I have a visual, like a physical thing on the board that I can actually remove once I use them. So everybody just moved up with a move order. These guys are going to try to scout this thing. Wave to the surgeon, which we'll get to him later. The same thing with the Swedish, the Poles in Swedish service, and then the Wallachians are the only ones that did something different. They're moving around here to scout here, and then possibly get some flanking fire on the advancing loyalists. Yeah, here they are being sneaky. I don't know what they're aiming at. There's nothing over there, but all right. So at the end of turn 2. Things were already interesting. That's what I like about the skirmish games is they go really, really, really quickly, especially when you have all cavalry because everything's so quick, everything's so fast. So what happened here is to vary the behavior. I rolled to see what each commander would kind of do, like how they would behave that turn. And so this commander, the traitors, decided to be cautious. And so what he did is he won the initiative, so he changed their commands to defense, or defend. And so they just moved back slightly. And then when I rolled for the loyalists, he wanted to be aggressive. So when the loyalists saw them change their orders, he figured, okay, well, they're going to be charging, right? So he changed theirs to charge. These guys just kind of moved. These guys moved up. They're just hanging out to scout this at the end of the turn. And, so these guys just moved back 2 centimeters because you get and by the way, this, like I said, it's been a while since I played this, so I may be doing some stuff wrong. But they did a little maneuver where they just moved back 2 centimeters, both of these guys. And so these guys moved their 20 and then failed their charge. And then they failed their skill test, so they became disordered. When you fail a charge, you have to take a skill check, and even if I tried to bump up their skill, it didn't matter. And then the Wallachians, if you didn't see, they're scouting this area. Probably have it snacking on some of the fruit from the grove there, and it was over at the end of turn 3. Everything went wrong for the loyalists. So to go back to this picture, so during turn 3, the loyalists won initiative, and so what he did is he tried to rally, and then he tried and failed, and then he tried to rally these guys and failed, and so the plan was rally, and then give one of them a charge order, right? Well, they both failed, so he's got 1 extra command, so he gave them an order to charge, because he's like, might as well try to win here. And so, yeah, these guys both got a charge order, because the commander's right there. And these guys are disordered, they're charging, so they get they get +1 to their skill, because they're charging. They get +1 because I have pistols. These guys only get 1 dice because they're disordered. I mean, it was just, everything was stacked against the loyalists. And one thing, and you can leave your interpretation in the comments, because I really wasn't sure. I think I read it right. So these guys were disordered. They lost combat and failed the morale test, and they fled. These guys pursued, which would have brought them back into contact, which means that these units were both destroyed, right? So I think that's how I went with it, because that's what I read, and I seem to read in the rules. So yeah, the loyalists lost both of their main units in one. And then this one was closer. I really thought the loyalists might win this combat, but I think they lost by 1, and they fled, and then they just rolled bad again, and they lost this combat, and so these guys are broken. This is the only combat effective unit, 2 bases of Panzerni. The loyalist commander is, yeah, pretty much, I would almost say he's probably captured. I mean, really, if this was, going on in real life. So, yeah. I didn't calculate up victory points because I figured this is definitely a loyalist defeat. I mean, the Wallachians didn't even have to do anything. They're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, okay. And then I took this picture. Yeah, here's the loyalist Panzerni, and they're watching their guy. They just watched all this happen, all these combats, and they probably just watched their commander get captured. So I would say at this point they would probably say, screw this, we're out of here. So this was definitely a Swedish victory, unfortunately. I was really rooting for the loyalists. That's why I kind of took all the pictures from this side of the loyalists. But, so, yeah, I jinxed them. I should have done that. So yeah, here's the surgeon model. He's gonna have a long day cleaning up all the casualties, and but yeah, it's one of the special miniatures you can get, which it's a really cool miniature. I love it, but it freaks me out because he's kind of smiling. He looks a little crazy, like he enjoys his job a little bit too much. But anyway, so there you go. This was my coronavirus solo game. It was, like I said, it was a really quick game. It was a little boring because both sides were Polish, which I was expecting, but it was still just good to get my guys out on the table. And they're beautiful models. My painting's it's okay, but I love the banners that come with them. They're really awesome. They just add a lot to it because I mean, when you squadron them together, you got like 3 banners in one. It looks really cool. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I'll try to do more. Hopefully, when I actually play against somebody, there's a local group that meets in Red Oak, Texas, and we've all kind of gotten into this game a little bit, but everybody started getting into it when the coronavirus hit, so we haven't really had time to play. So anyway, all right, guys, I will see y'all later. Happy wargaming.